I don't mind people having more than me. That's cool. But if you're worse than me and you have more than me, then it spurs man on.
I hear that.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I hear that.
So you don't want to waste his time fighting someone like me. Now,
What does that mean?
Now, wait.
What's his name?
Now, let me...
What's his name? What's his name? What's his name?
No, Chuckie, hear me out. No.
When I think of Vegas, I don't see a house.
You see one road, innit?
I just see a strip. I can't even fathom a house in Vegas. Like there's yards in Vegas.
Yeah. And that's a big thing for me, is that I never wanted to be a sellout. I always wanted to stick to my thing.
Like you're a bit what is this? And are we paying for this?
The money.
Fears you attack. You can't run. Otherwise, you're just telling yourself to be scared of more going forward, man.
Yeah, boom. What's going on?
We're rolling.
Vidal is with us, everyone.
Listen,
what's going on?
I'm good, man. I feel like this is overdue.
I'm telling you, like more than we kind of like spoke about it. What was it last year, innit? And then obviously the year things was going on.
Flew by. Then obviously the New Year's, you had it popping.
Right, you came to the New Year's party.
Credit to Chucks. No, you have to give it. It was a good party, man.
Yeah, bro, do you know the New Year's Eve party? Yeah, like I didn't even want to do it.
What do you mean, man?
I didn't even want to do it, man. I got to like all of the parties that I did all last year. That was not part of the plan. I wasn't thinking about doing anything. I was just focused on recording content, filming, whatever, and like obviously DJing is my background. But I just thought, right now I'm focusing on this, and it's my close friend and business partner has basically made me do these parties, but also made me realize, you know what, I can use the traffic in what I have to like bring people to parties and that, and it's worked.
Now people talk. Listen, because people talk, man. Like even when I was just looking for motives on New Year's, anyway, kept hearing, yeah, man. Family, I'm Chuckie's thing. Where you going? Chuckie's thing. Chuckie. I was like, rah. Chuckie got the streets ringing for his party. But I see why. When we got there, the variety of music, the space. Yeah, man. It was 30. I had a good night still. I
had a really good time, man. How are you though, man? What's going on with you? You alright?
Man, listen, I'm just focused right now. Just on fighting.
Yeah, I hear that.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not gonna lie, you don't look like it though.
No,
just trim and like, you know what I'm saying? Man just looks very sharp.
You know what I mean? Look,
you look like you're ready to step out and
came from the gym today. You know what I mean? But I don't have to look like the gym.
Nah, I hear that.
You don't have to look like the gym. But no, we've been putting in work, man. I feel like last year I picked up momentum with my career, boxing wise. You know what I mean? Socials was doing good from before. And then last year I was like, you know, I'm gonna focus on this fighting, man. I'm gonna focus on boxing. That's what I'm going to do, innit? And then we got the 3 wins going, knockout streak is happening, and then February the 11th we're back Wembley, going again. Yeah. And this year we're trying to pick up a belt, man.
So wait, hold on one sec. Do you know what? I don't want anyone over this, because a lot of people know who you are, innit? But there'll still be a lot of people who don't.
Of course.
And there will also be like a lot of maybe my audience that may not know really what's going on. So obviously I want to talk from that perspective too. However, before I like deep dive into certain things, it's a surprise to me that you're saying like relatively recently ish. You've been like, nah, I'm focusing on this thing. And not like, oh, you know what, like from years back you've been focusing. It's more like now I'm really, really focusing. Why is that? And where did that come from?
I think just growing up, you know, just getting mature, realising what you want, realising how you're going to get it. You know, I started boxing at 3 years old. I started boxing early. But it wasn't my drive that was pushing me. It was my dad's drive that was pushing me. You know what I'm saying? So he used to box. He realised, yo, you got a talent for this. This is where you can go with it. But you're not seeing that as a kid. And boxing's not one of them sports that have immediate reward. You know what I mean? With football, you can get signed at 9. And you're in the academy, you got your little wages, you're getting your rewards. You know what I mean? Your parents are at least seeing the rewards. So for me, it's like boxing takes time to get to that side. So I was in and out, and I still was very successful. Still won multiple national titles and, you know, competed for Team GB, everything. But only when I came back from Vegas 2020, pandemic times, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to settle down, find my route, and just do this boxing thing. Because I think a motivation for me is I don't mind people having more than me. that's cool. But if you're worse than me and you have more than me, then it spurs man on.
I hear that.
Do you see what I'm saying?
I hear that.
So like, if you're better than me and you got more than me, cool.
Fine.
Good for you.
Fine.
But when I'm looking at the quality and I'm like, you're not matching my quality, you know. But you got more. That just makes me go to the gym now.
Right.
Because I'm like, we're not gonna have this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I also want people to respect how hard it is to do what I'm doing. And if the level don't look right, people think it's easy. Everyone thinks they can do it.
Mm.
But I'm gonna just restore a balance so people go, you know what, I can't be there. I can't be champion like that because he's champion.
Right.
And that looks difficult to do. You know what I'm saying? So with this spirit, this motivation, I'm just knuckling down, ticking the boxes. And yeah, man, we're just climbing, man.
You said a couple of things there, but I'm gonna go back quickly. Yeah, I think it's quite a common thing for a parent, to have a dream for themselves, and it not necessarily work for them. But then they have a child, and then the dream transfers to the child, and like I think that's an interesting conversation in itself there, because like as a child, all you're thinking about is just playing.
Yeah, no, for real.
You don't think about and you might even have a skill that older people can identify. But once you take that fun out of it, then they don't even really want to do that so much anymore. And I wonder where that balance is, because I saw that. Like I've seen that a few times. Like even within my family, you know, we have family members that were just like heavily into boxing and stuff like that. And then obviously it went down to like us like fighting each other and whatever. And like a couple of my cousins were just cold and they were just really good at boxing. Yeah. But when I look back at it, even though it was all with love, it was like, it's their dream.
Right. Let me put this on the airplane as well. Get the people interrupting
it's cool.
you. But no, it's true. I think the thing is with my dad, it's like he didn't want me to box necessarily. It's just that because it's in him, and obviously I'm just little done in the house. He's like, come here, throw two bangs. Do you know what I mean? And because the bangs were coming off all right, he was like, yeah, it's something I can build with. I think if he didn't see that initial potential or like natural knack, he would have said, you know what, you're gonna get hurt in this thing, don't do it. And he's told me that when I haven't been taking the sport seriously in previous times, he's like, you know what, don't do it, bro, because it's not a joke. Like you get hurt because you're not taking it serious.
Right.
And fortunately I've never been seriously hurt in the ring, but I've had losses and I've had things that made me go, yeah, I don't like this feeling, I'm not dealing with it.
Yeah.
So to avoid it, we're gonna grind, we're gonna keep pushing. You know what I mean? So
did it stop? Which ends did you grow up in?
Tottenham. So I was born in Hackney.
Yeah.
Moved to Tottenham when I was 9.
Right.
So yeah, just grew up in Tottenham, and then once I moved
out. Paint that picture actually. When for you?
Yeah.
9, 10, 11, 12, even 13. What did the community look like? What was going on? Because Tottenham is always, to me, and me and Poet joke about this a lot. And I'm like, I'm joking, but I'm serious at the same time. To me, it's like Tottenham's the one place that ain't been gentrified.
Yeah, they're working on it. They're working on it still.
Hella smoky over that side of the woods.
Tottenham's
so
it's a hard
what was
place
it
to
like
change,
for you? Paint the picture a little bit. Like, what was your surroundings like?
So you know what? For me, I feel like because of my school, I went to Northumberland Park and I went to MBK. So that school, because of the uniform, it made life long. Because we got purple jumpers, and purple is for the ends as well. So just being in that uniform, it's just like, yeah, we know where you're from immediately. You're not miscellaneous on these roads. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it's just one of those things, man. The standard normal like Wood Green and Tottenham and just, yeah. I was not something I was mixed up in, because I had strong parents, strict parents, 2 parents at home, on man. But at the end of the day, I have my friends, and when you get to a certain age, you have your freedom as well. So you get an associated face, which sometimes can be as dangerous as being the face. Because if I ain't seen the face I want, yours will do. You know what I mean? So that sort of situation, you find yourself in. But overall, man, it's just... Yeah, I think it makes me who I am. I think being from Tottenham makes me who I am. Although I was born in Hackney, I'd say the person that I am developed from just being in Tottenham.
So obviously they say that like what is it? Obviously you can have. What is it saying? It's like a village raises a child, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's so you have your parents and that, and then obviously the your immediate community and that. But it's like what I've noticed is I had the benefit of I had a good home as well. Obviously there was a whole bunch of other things that was going on in that. But
always.
I think that even with having that, when you are outside the house, there's a whole nother life that goes on, and there's a whole nother world in it, and sometimes it can be difficult to stay away from elements of it, because even if you're not in it, your brethren might be in it, or this one or that, or these people draw you into being in it.
But I think it starts, like, the influence starts from, it can even be like what you eat. Like, imagine your mum and dad, good parents, whatever, pack you a nice packed lunch, you roll out, everyone's on chicken and chips, everyone's drinking a merge and K and all that. Now you don't want your packed lunch no more. Even though that's the meal that's good for you. That's the meal that your parents gave you knowing is good for you. Now you're just outside, like, you know what, I might as well get them wings. I might as well get... You start realizing when you're outside, that's where I think the true parenting and the teachings, if it's in you, you'll survive.
Right.
Because they're not always going to be able to supervise you.
Yeah.
So it's like if they've managed to install enough into you, even when you're outside doing a bit of madness, you come back.
Yeah.
You have that balance.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? That restores you. And I think sometimes some men, they don't have that. And then you just say, you know what, I'm outside, man. I'm going all the way.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I'm going all the way.
I'm riding this until the wheels fall off.
Until it was wherever. But I think because I always had that from them, it just helped me restore back. So later in life, later years, I'm like, okay, I had my fun. You know, this don't get you. You know, where go back to what you've been hearing. Right. You know what I mean?
So what? See, like with the boxing and that as well. Was you like still training when you was like 13, 14?
Yeah. So I was training in school. It was a thing, like, because mum used to have one healthy packed lunch. Yeah.
Oh,
all the man, listen, all the man them in school, it started becoming a little thing, because my mum would be making these sandwiches, and I'm back in the day, I'm thinking, yo, this is an intricate sandwich. I would have been happy with a Nutella sandwich and keep it moving, but from
she's making sure you get all the right vitamins, bro, and all these type of things
from early. So like boxing, being a boxer in school,
intricate sandwich, I hear that. So.
Being a boxer in school was funny. Like, I didn't have many fights in school. People respected, you know, what man was doing, and I was doing it at a good level, so it was a level that can be respected. But at the same time, boxing ain't that sport like that. It ain't hitting like if you say, after school, where you going? I'm going Chelsea quickly to go kick ball. Like, you know what I mean? So it's not, it didn't carry that weight. I think it would carry more weight now. But it was still good, and it was still respected. And the man them in the ends, to be fair, a lot of the time when they see me or ask me what you on, or even like why you outside, like, and you got training.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Or like, when's your next fight? Yeah, man, see you bang up like you. Well done. Do you know what I mean? So I got that sort of love as well when people saw it's something I'm pursuing and traveling with it. Like, where's he out of the country boxing? All right. So
they knew that you were like, you're doing something constructive, and also it's still respectable, because even though, see, like with football, if you know that my man's going and he's just going to Chelsea to play football or whatever, I think in your mind you instantly think, he's gonna be up, like, he's gonna be up. However, with boxing it's not the same, but it's still that, like, that he's doing his thing, no? He's just focused on whatever it is that he's doing. It's just seen differently. Until today. Today's the whole...
Today, it's not... I guess the people that are in school, the men that are in school now that say they're boxers, probably get some clout and get a bit more, you know, of that energy from it. Because we've seen enough high-profile people from the community make a mad living and stay relatable to us, which I think is a big thing. A lot of people get to a level when the relatability dies out. Feels like they're removed from me. You know what I'm saying? I've always said to myself, I don't want anyone to see what I'm doing and think it's impossible to do. Like, it's not that hard to do. And I wasn't given a head start to do it. Like, just knuckle down and focus and stick to what you know and you can do it. I don't like I don't like to give off the impression that man, only I can do this, because that's
No.
gas. Yeah,
Focus and dedication does a lot, innit? Like focus, dedication does a lot of things, but that's why sometimes you get people that are where they are at and some that don't, because you can do it, but it's just being able to. It's the hard yards, innit? Like you might be able to, for example, you might be able to train at 3 p.m. in the day, like for an hour or two, but see the day when it's 7 in the morning and you've got to be up to do whatever it is to run or to do whatever it is in the early hours of the morning when it's cold, or you're running on the mountain or whatever. Like that's the part where some people are like,
long.
Right.
That's where it kicks in, because I'm sure also coming up on your journey, I'm sure you know some bad man DJs, some cold DJs, and you think like, if this guy continued DJing, but he would have been the man.
Yeah, of course. Or if they marketed themselves,
this guy would have been the man. And when I see people like that around me, I know boxers, I think, right, he could have taken over this thing. It just makes me not become that.
Right.
Yeah, I rate it. I might even take things from them because they're that cold. But I'm just going to make sure that where I saw, you kind of drop in that hole, I'm going to jump over it.
Right.
And spread it. And then maybe even when I get there, bring you in.
Right.
But I know a lot of men don't think like that, though.
No, of course not. Well, the reason why, that is the whole next conversation, but sometimes what happens is that some people feel like they're dimming out their light when they're giving some of their light to you. So they don't want to. They just want their light to be strong. And you see that happen in a lot of friendship groups as well, like where it feels like, I don't want to. It's an insecurity, and that insecurity goes deep. It can come down to so many different things. You know what I'm saying? But just like staying back with the teenage stuff. Yeah. Did you honestly have like a more of a reserve? Because they sometimes say like when you learn how to fight when you're young, it makes you not fight because you just know what you can do to man.
Yeah.
But though, like, did it also not be on a thing of like, I'm dying for a man?
Yeah.
Did you not have any of that? Like,
couple of times.
I'm begging someone. Did you ever have one of them? Like, I'm begging, man.
Yeah. Now listen, I did have them moments though. I think different stage in your life depends on what you're going through.
That's probably around 16, 17.
Yeah, around year 11.
Right, that's it. Yeah. The perspective becomes a little different because you feel big compared to the year 7s and that as well. Obviously, there's the aura of like they're the toughest one in school and all that type of stuff.
Course.
And then it's like, wait, don't dim me. Like, what is this, isn't it?
It comes to your ego gets tested. You start to develop an ego. You want to have a certain level of respect. You want to know that, if man them are bored at lunchtime, it's not me that they're going to decide to rush.
Right.
Because we had them, man.
Yeah.
We had them, man, in school where it's like last day of school, let's get him. Yeah. Like, I just never wanted to be on that list. Yeah, so it's like, if I got to throw hands today to put the fear out there, say no more. But I didn't really want to fight. And I wasn't naive enough to think that boxing will help you. It's because boxing's a sport. But I'd say I'm one of the best boxers, 100%. But I wouldn't say I'm one of the best street fighters.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? I can respect that when I'm dashing these bangs at you, we're not in my gym practicing a sport. Right. This is a fight. Yeah. Anything can happen.
Yeah,
down.
Of course. When you go on the floor, it's taking.
Yeah. So I made sure I played UFC every day at home.
Right there.
You know what I mean? I learned a couple arm bars and a couple. If my fist miss, what will I do?
Guillotine.
Yeah, listen. A couple moves you gotta have in your locker, like, because once someone takes you on the floor, you're talking about I'm a boxer.
Yeah.
What's it meaning? But your ego, year 11, first year of college, you start thinking, maybe someone I'm gonna just give these hands. Someone I'm gonna give these hands. But
did that ever need to happen?
Year 11, man, I had one fight in year 11. I feel like the guy was just winding me up. Man.
Was the adrenaline high? Because do you know what? Sometimes, like, man. Do you know what?
Like, you're looking like you're trying to not say.
I'm just going back to a time in school where it was like, where these things were happening in my school, but it was like, this was maybe a different time, innit? But them times there, fist fighting or street fighting was a lot more common than then a madness happening. Like now it feels like there's a lot of madnesses that are happening or whatever. Whereas people were more forced to fight if there was an issue. Now sometimes obviously some people would be outnumbered. That was just kind of the game. If you got caught slipping, you got caught slipping. But I always remember a time where there was someone who we looked at as like a little man in school. Yeah. And like he used to just get these words all the time, man, say things, whatever. But then one day it just went there. And I'll never forget, yeah. He went into the boxing stance and all his foot was all right and that. And he started bouncing and I thought, nah, this Don is actually,
He was prepped for you.
Yeah, he was prepped. Yeah.
He said, yeah, this is the day
he's not an idiot. Like, it's not even, it was the way that even he had his foot right planted like that. Like,
shoulder round.
Yeah, shoulder round. I was like, nah. Nothing didn't even end up happening.
Right.
Because he just caught every man off guard with that, and he was like, you know what? Everyone just talked their way out of that situation, and that just was what that was.
That's happened to me though. Like there was one guy in my year that was a wrestler.
Oh, mad!
He was a wrestler, innit? So his thing was the opposite of mine. Do you know what I mean? His skill set and my skill set, mine didn't work for his thing, but it would just be like play fighting,
right?
You know what I'm saying? But we used to play this game, yeah. We used to play this game in school, Join the Crew, yeah.
It's called Join the Crew.
Yeah, Join the Crew, yeah. So you got a big AstroTurf because my school's like across the street from Tottenham Stadium, innit?
Right.
So we got a big AstroTurf, yeah. You got to run from one fence to the other side to the other fence, but the three strongest people in the year are in the middle.
Okay.
So when you're running by, if you get caught, you're getting mashed up until you say Join the Crew, innit? But when I got picked that day to be one of the men in the middle, I said, yeah.
Right.
I made it.
Yes.
I said I made it. I said I'm no longer the prey. Yeah. I'm the predator. I'm the predator.
It feeds into the ego a bit.
Go in the middle. I said, yeah.
Yeah? Okay. I'm the big boy then.
Say nothing.
Right, and it's recognised.
Yeah, it's recognised
now.
Yeah. Because the big don said, yeah, stand with us. I said, cool, I ain't running over. But all that stuff builds character, man.
100%.
It builds character. And it shows you like who's strong.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like you're getting in bare trouble for it in school, and obviously it's not the right thing to do. I ain't advocating the game to anyone.
Yeah.
Just talking about my journey. But when I look back at it, those memories it contributes to who I am.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? It's in hindsight, it's a mad thing.
And you always did you always have a good relationship with your parents?
Yeah. So I'm very good relationship with my mum. She's more like the education parent, the schoolwork parent. Like, have you done your homework? No,
Yeah.
Go do that. Do you know what I'm saying? My dad would be on it as well, but it's more like listen to your mum, like go do your thing.
Right.
And then when it came to the boxing, how to navigate, you're gonna be a man in this world. I'm a man already. Let me show you how this thing goes. Listen to these rules. We're going gym. We're boxing.
Right.
So I had a good balance.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I had a good balance of what I was getting at home. And I've got my little sister as well, who I grew up in the same house with. So we're quite similar, very similar. Because the values and the way we move is like setting us.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So what was the earlier goal then? Like what was even though you were training and stuff like that, like what was the earlier goal? Like was there something different that you wanted to do?
Like, boy, I went through a phase, you know. I wanted to kick ball at one point, obviously. Yeah. I think that's a normal man
of course
dream to kick ball.
Yeah.
But then let me tell you this one. So now I was like to my dad, you know, I don't want to box no more.
How did that go?
I want to kick ball.
What did he say?
He was like, what do you mean? You can't kick ball. Everyone wants to kick ball. And then he said, you know what? Let me buy you a football and let's see how many kick-ups you can do. Went out there, bro. Kicked the ball over. Man said to me, bro, go get your gloves, man. And then said, yo. He said, brother, do yourself a favor, yeah, and go get your gloves, man. Stick to your lane. But it's good because when you don't have that, you can end up wayward, bro.
Yeah,
you can think you can do anything, which you can, but when the wise are guiding you, just let the wise guide you.
This is interesting.
You know what I mean?
We're not parents, so it's difficult to say, but just speculating, yeah. Are you a parent?
Yeah.
All right, so okay, cool.
We're gonna have to bring Lee in on the parents. Or...
Should you, or should we teach our children or give them this battery in their back to say that they can be anything that they want? What do you think first?
I think you should tell them. I'm not a parent. Let me just put that.
Right. Yeah.
But you should tell them that they can be whatever they want to be. Yeah. Once you see, you know, natural abilities in the things they're choosing where they can excel, you should push that more. But I don't think you should limit man off. Like, you know what, I kick ball, brother, you're kicking ball. Because I might not want to kick ball. I might never ever come round to the point of wanting to kick ball. I might want to be an architect.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? But wherever, do what you want to do. The moment I see you making avenues and it looks like, no, you got this, I'll push you a bit more.
Yeah.
That's what I think the approach should be.
Teaching them to be realistic. Is that limiting?
Yes.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because what is realistic? If we looked at like KSI's career, for example, before KSI had the career, we would have turned around and said, big man,
chill out.
Yeah.
You're doing too
ease
much.
up.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, for real.
Ease up. And you know what? Probably I would have done that. Until you see somebody achieve something, then you realise that it can be done. But sometimes I guess you kind of got to let somebody be free to be able to do that. But I guess as a parent, you kind of steer them in the right. Do you know what? Turn the mic on first. I'm going to introduce you on the camera in a bit, yeah? But I do, because we got a parent in here, it does make sense to do that. Wills, I'm saying this right.
Yeah, Leon or Wills.
Wills,
yeah.
okay. Yeah. All right. Yours. So if you follow Vidal, you'll definitely know who
100%
this voice is, and you'll see him later on in the camera in a bit. But it's only because it makes sense that there's a parent in here, and sometimes I like to unpack things. And as we've got a parent in here, it was very important for me to I couldn't continue without. Do you understand what I'm saying?
True.
What is your perspective on that?
So my boy is going to be 2 next month, but then I say that we have to look at other cultures because we're Caribbean, right?
Right.
If you look at the, say, Indian or Pakistani people, they might lead their children to become like doctors and etc.
Right.
Regardless of what they want to be, they'll go in that direction. And it's more beneficial for them in that way, in their culture and raising up their culture and community. So it depends. With sports now, I'll see my son's talent. I can see he's talented already, very athletic. So I'll lead him down a certain avenue where I think he can excel. For example, if he's better at football than boxing,
then you're going to lead him.
Yeah. But it might get to a point where he might think, no, I want to box instead of play football. Then at a certain age, you got to let them do what they want to do.
What happens when they don't? Because there's a lot of people out there that don't know what they want to do in regards to sport, in regards to like just life. For me, I'm always like, listen, when I get messages, I'm sure you must get them sometimes as well, yeah? So, do you know what, you know, sometimes I get a message from like a 13 or 14 year old like, oh my God, my life's over. I don't know what and I'm like, listen, trust me, I always say that like sometimes for some people, you just find it late. Sometimes you find it in your late 20s.
No, but you know what it is? See, like us, we're blessed because we do things that we make money from things we're passionate about. Like you're being passionate. How long have you loved music for?
Forever.
Exactly. Like boxing, fighting, he's loved it forever. Me, same with fighting, sports, I've loved it forever. So when I was involved in our passion,
like, this is
easy
life.
work. Yeah, it's easy life.
We made a life of fighting.
Yeah.
And that's what we've been doing. Like that's what we wanted to do. You know what I mean? That's so
it's about your passion lies. More time.
You got to follow your passion, man.
But some people don't have passion, do they? Or do they?
Does
everyone have passion?
I think so.
Yeah.
Or do people develop passion?
I think everyone has a passion. Not everyone's passion is easy to make a living from.
Right.
So your passion might just be some obscure thing, like unfortunately, and then you have to really use your brain, which links back what you said to marketing, how people market themselves to try and make it something for you. But I believe everyone deep in them has a passion for something.
I think people develop passion.
No, everyone has a passion.
I like,
say for example, I'm from Bow, right?
Go.
So when you're from Bow, during especially the era of like the start of grime, right?
Yeah.
You wanted to be a DJ.
Yes.
But obviously If you didn't have funds or your parents didn't have money, you couldn't buy the record, so you pick up the mic.
Yes.
I still know people now still trying to bust
Yeah.
from MCing because they're still following their passion, right?
Yeah,
and they still want to earn from that passion. So I think everyone has a type of passion.
Those people, we're talking about people that are a bit older.
Yeah.
I'm saying like when some people are young, they have things that they like.
Yes.
But they might like, but they don't necessarily have a passion for it. And that's why I said they
No,
develop
they
it.
can't identify it yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the identification of the passion.
And it is a tricky one, because you know what, some people's passion becomes playing PlayStation, bro.
That's true.
FIFA. My passion is FIFA, bro. I know how to do every move in this game. I play online. If there was a club that wanted, man, I'd go. But and that's what I like about the positive thing about the world today is there's so many avenues, bro. The fact that you were that guy where your mum could have been hotting you as a kid, bro, all you do is play FIFA all day, turn off the Xbox, yo, go read your book. But now I play for Man City.
Right.
Because I was sitting in my room all day playing games. And you was on me about it. But
Right.
the world today gives you that avenue. So sometimes it's like, I think it's important linking back into the parent thing to know how the world is moving today. To tell your kids, like, you know what, playing games all day isn't bumming around. Read your books, but one day you could be an gamer of the year.
Right.
But then when our parents were growing up, there's no gamer, bro.
Well,
Turn off the Super Nintendo.
That's the thing where I think you're so right. Because sometimes I think parents, we look at I'm not a parent, but as an older person, you look at a young person and judge your world their world based upon your world.
Therefore.
And like what you've done and how things were when you was that age. But it's completely different. I think maybe which is maybe easier said than done, is like really trying to be in tune with exactly what is going on in the playground and the things that they're into and whatnot, so you can get a better gauge of what's actually happening in the world. Because that way then, when somebody then turns around and says, you know what, I want to do YouTube, you already know, oh yeah, I know that because I saw this guy and this one and I understand exactly what it is that they're doing. As opposed to just like, and I was guilty of, I remember one time, I used to see my brother play it, watching the computer, like watching the screen, and he would see other people playing computer. Right. And I thought that was nuts. You're sitting there and you're just watching my man play a game. Yeah. I could not understand it at all. Yeah, bro, I couldn't get it, man. Now, if I took a moment to actually deep this for a minute, I could have, because I've realised now what he's doing is, even within that, he's now transferring some of this and he's going in his room and he's doing his thing now. Yeah. Right. But if I take a moment to have a little look at what's going on, I'm saying, right, the person that he's actually watching is doing all right in life. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's got
you have to think that step ahead.
He's got subscribers. He's got people that follow him, whatever it may be. And it's like now from that, you can make it into something tangible. You can make it into like, you know, if you say you got merch or you've got this or you've got an event or whatever it may be, it's like these people follow, and then it makes you understand when someone turns around and says, this is what I want to do, you're like, okay, I get it, as opposed to just turning the nose up. And as parents, or not even as parents, just as we're older, we do that.
Yeah, definitely.
We lose touch with sometimes we lose touch with what's going on in the world. I have like benefit from being able to, the world that I work in, I'm just understanding what's going on in that. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's my line of work. But there's just a lot of people that don't do what I do or don't do what you do or whatever, and they don't have that understanding. You get what I'm saying?
It's important to, you have to know what's going on in the world today, how the world is changing. It's crucial, bro. Because I just think, like we said, the career avenues have changed so much. I remember my cousin watching KSI from back in the day, and I used to hot this guy. I can't lie to you, bro. I would hot him. I'd say to him, bro, we can go to the shopping centre, link to Jones. Yeah,
strong.
That's what we should be doing.
Yeah, exactly. Bow inside, looking at stuff,
and then
let's go outside and look at gal.
And I'm seeing JJ screaming on the laptop
with
and
these
like,
big laughs.
Yeah, and I'm like, I'm like, yo, bro, let's go to the shopping centre. And then turns out, lo and behold, is one of my closest brethren end up being this guy, and one of the people who really helped me push my talent out to the world was the guy that I was telling my cousin, yo, don't watch this guy. And it just made my mind just open up different. if anyone in the ends was telling any of the man them, I want to be a YouTuber, we're hotting you. We'll probably say, let's play Join the Crew right now. Pump some sense into
Right.
right?
Yeah.
The day it touched down in my mind, like, raw, it's a thing, man. Don't frown your nose up at it. Open up your mind and see everyone gets to where they're going in different ways.
But let's talk about that. The like KSI. This is interesting because I think a lot of what I'm in the way that I see how people can make things of themselves has probably come a lot from watching KSI, to be fair. And I'll be honest with you, I was criticizing to bits in the beginning because I didn't understand. And like at first, see, like the YouTube thing, that wasn't even the thing that I was criticizing so much. So I was like, oh, it's a new thing. Obviously, like, everyone's just doing YouTube thing, whatever it may be, and that. But I think it was like when I saw him having like transferable skills, so like making music or whatever, I just dismissed that immediately.
Right.
I was like, you're a YouTuber. What like what is this even? I just didn't even take a time to even look at it. Until afterwards, it got to a point where it's like, you know what? You almost have to get to that stage where you're like, you know what? Like, he's doing something. Like,
yeah.
But he's actually really doing something, and he's not even just doing something on a try and a ting type of thing. It's like
doing the ting.
He's really actually focusing on trying to be the best that he actually can be in that thing,
Fully.
and that alone is respectable.
You can't not respect it. You know, I think the world is full of a lot of broken dreams, man. The world is full of a lot of broken dreams, and a lot of people's energy is going to tell you can't do this, and maybe you should focus on that, maybe you should do this. He's proven, but I do think he's an anomaly in a way. I do feel like he's part of a very small community of people who can pick something and excel to the top of it in everything that he's choosing to do. And people do dismiss that he did have a soul trade for a long time that allows those avenues to run.
Right.
He didn't say, all right, I'm going to start my YouTube channel, then bring out an album next week, and then I'm going to do a movie next week. That is not what happened. It was years of consistent grind in one thing, built enough to then be able to branch off into everything else. And I think that's why it's good what we're saying about the limitation. I think initially you do need some sort of limits. You do need something where your sole focus is going into that. You can't spread the percentages too thin. But once that bar is maxed out and you've reached that avenue enough, you can then branch off into other things. But then I don't mean everyone's going to accept that.
Yeah.
Which is what you were saying.
And the thing is, how much does that even matter?
If you're charting and you're getting your numbers and you're doing what you need to
Well, even
do.
if you're not charting, if you believe and it's something that you really, really want to do,
that makes you happy,
and it makes you happy, then maybe at some point the tide can change. It might not. And I think obviously it's important to know that it might not. But if you're doing it from a place of actually, I believe that I'm gonna actually try my best to just be the best that I can in it, then at least at the end of the day, even if it doesn't work out, at least you know that you've like put a lot into trying to do that.
And you've done your best. You know what I mean? I think the world can be. You can make the world what you want it to be through consistency and through repeatedly saying like, this is what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? There's how many artists, how many people, how many fields of work, whether it's clothing, whatever. If you see it enough, you come around and you say, you know what? It's kind of cool. This can run.
When I first met you, when you was working in Nike.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah. What was happening in your life around them sort of times? Like, what was you doing? What was going on? Was you friends with KSI then?
No.
Like,
so that's pre knowing anyone from the YouTube community. You know what I mean? My guy here, Rums, my cameraman now. You know, good friend. I met him there.
yeah, because I used to see him there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's going back now a few years. Even madness is like, I used to work with Leon's cousin in there. I didn't even know that's his cousin until years later. Right. Me and Leon are boys, see him, oh yeah, that's my cousin. I'm like, bro, do you know what I mean? I just feel like that being in nighttime was the hub for me. I think my life progressed from being in that hub. So many people, so many different talents, just you can really network and make a group of people that are gonna that can be of use, can be help, can be good, whether it's just a friend or whether it's to help you business wise. But that stage of my life, I wasn't really on boxing like that. I was I didn't think I was gonna box again at that stage. I thought I was gonna be a PE teacher.
Okay.
I thought I was gonna be a PE teacher, and then I thought, nah, man, I ain't gonna do this boxing thing. And then because I didn't get into the uni I wanted to get into, I said, all right, cool, maybe I'm gonna just do personal training. And then mum was doing personal training at one beauty college, yeah. So there's just bare things in there. There was only one course that was sports, you know. Everything else was nails and lashes in there.
Is it? Oh, so there's bare gal in there.
And it was around the corner from that time, yeah. I said, yo, work and everything, and you know which one I'm talking about.
And the girls, like, sometimes you see them all just wearing the white long. Yeah.
That one.
Because I'm saying,
I'm not wearing that though.
Because obviously I was DJing in the store, so then sometimes I see like girls coming in and whatnot,
and they all got like the outfit.
Yeah, and I'm saying, oh, okay.
So I went to that college, yeah, and it was the only sports course in there was the PT level 3 thing. So I said, you know what? Because man's still underage, like to pay, I don't have to pay. I can get it for free. Let me just do this. Just run a 1-year course, and then man, I was working at night time doing full-time hours, studying on the side. I just didn't know, man, what I wanted to do like that. And then got the personal training qualification. About 2 days later, some guy walked in just like, yo, I'm recruiting PTs. I was serving him. I was giving him a shoe. And he was like, you want to be a PT? In hindsight, now I know that guy was trying to finesse me. Because I was a newbie. 2 days fresh. Just got the qualification. This guy signed me up for gym box, where the rent is 4 figures a month.
It's mad. I train there. In
a man's 19 years old, no experience. I ain't one either. Yeah. And Donny said, yeah, man, just come to the gym and you can do it. So, no, young and naive, just like he knew I was, I said, yeah, man, let me do it. And then, man, I went from strength to strength.
But did you leave Nike?
No, I stayed there.
Okay.
There's another thing I want to say to the people as well. Like, when you're going to take a risk, try not to just drown in the risk. Like, try and have a little something held back. So I cut my hours down at night time. I said I'm going to do my PT thing, but I cut my hours down. So I was using the Nike money to pay the gym rent, just in case I didn't pop off.
Okay.
So I had myself a little cushion, living at home with my mum, everything blessed. And then, man, started rolling in some clients, bro.
Oh, you started getting them?
Yeah, started rolling in some clients. I knew quickly, I'm going to have to go get it. I'm the youngest. As I said, I don't look physically like, I should train with this guy. I got a man like Leon in the gym. Wham.
Yeah, Leon's
flying over the bar.
Yeah, I hear that.
Man's, you know what I'm saying? Man's telling his clients, man can throw you on the other side of the roof. You need that. This sort of strength is around me. I'm saying, you know what? But then that's how I said I have to put back out the boxing.
Okay.
Because everyone likes a boxercise.
Right.
So I said, let me get the pads out and just say, if you do this, walk a 1-2, lose some weight, you know?
Right.
And it worked. Everyone wanted to do the boxing thing. No one wanted. You wouldn't see no one doing push-ups with me. It's just pads.
Right. Okay.
I was just doing pads.
And the combination work and
it started flowing.
Right.
Then one of my good brethren to this day, Anison Gibb, a YouTuber, he said he saw me boxing, and he said, I want to train with you. And that's how the whole YouTube thing started, because I started training him first.
Right.
And then he started telling his friends, yo, I've lost bare weight with this guy, you know, like, he's cool. Go train with him as well. So I ended up training like 5-6 of them, like simultaneously. And these men are telling me, yo, I want to train every day. So like, because man comes from poverty, I said every day is this much, you know. Like, I ain't trying to finesse you. I'm just trying. I'm being upfront with you.
This is what it is.
Let me just tell you, there's no discounts.
Yeah.
And at this time I'm cycling to work, like along the canal from Tottenham to Stratford.
Okay.
In the dark and that, man, just cycling. I'm thinking I'm rolling low right now. So when that started coming through, I said, yo, I don't know about this YouTube thing, but I'm living all right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And slowly but surely I could let Nike go, because I got enough security through personal training. But then I kind of got pressured because man's giving off this boxing talk. But then, this is what I always say to people, your credentials, if you're not reading up on your credentials, it starts looking bad. Because imagine, yeah, you go to a restaurant and they got the 5-star hygiene rating, but you see it says 2016. We're in 2023. Where's your rating today?
Right then.
Is your kitchen clean today?
Yeah, exactly.
You're posting up the 5
You know what?
star.
So much people are living back. So much of them are living back from there.
Bro.
Yeah, what's going on now?
So when did you win the award last?
Right, exactly. Well, where did you come?
Yeah.
Was you still in the mix, or are you fully out of
right.
it? Because this now 2016 stuff's not working.
It's
today.
dated out here.
Right.
And I was finding that was happening to myself with the boxing. So I'm getting all these clients. I'm telling them, yeah,
you can do the pad work and that, but it's old food.
It's old food, like it's cool. But then when they say, oh yeah, so you boxed, yeah, back in 2014, back in
2014 starting to sound old.
It's starting to sound like it's a good 3 years old now. It's another Olympics has happened and that. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna have to get back into this thing to keep the business running.
Right.
That's how I initially thought, you know what, I'm gonna have to box again still.
Yeah.
Because I'm talking.
You need to punch up one man to be able to at least make it again fresh.
Yeah, like people need to see I can do it. You know, I'm not the pad man. So it kind of motivated me to get back into it. And it was kind of like, I don't know, through all them years when my dad was telling me, yeah man, trust me, boxing's for you, man. Boxing's for you. It's like to go full circle, try to run from it and try to find another route and just try to do all of that madness to find boxing back.
Yeah.
Got man living again.
Right.
Not me in the ring, but it's still the sport, it's still the knowledge he was installing into me. It was still my credentials from then that allowed me to shine today.
Right.
And I said, yeah, as long as you're on this planet, blood, embrace the sport, man. In whatever way you do it, you can't be away from this sport.
Right.
You're here for this. And once I got that belief, I just ran with it.
And then so KSI was obviously in the mix of all of the other people that you was training.
Yeah, it was one of his friends, Calix, one of my friends as well.
So what made, like, out of all of the people that you were training,
yeah,
and all of the people that you was around, why do you think that you clicked with him as much as you did?
I think because I wasn't a fan of him. I think that's the truth.
Yeah.
I think there wasn't an energy I had to dim or pretend like, alright, man's been watching him for this many years, but I'm gonna act like I don't really know him like that. Like I didn't have to do any of that. It was organic. Like, yeah, I know who you are, and yeah, you know, I know your thing, but if you want to learn to box, then learn to box. And
right.
It was that energy.
Yeah.
And then he said, yeah, spar with me. That's what he said. He said, spar with me. And after I sparred with him, he said, yeah, you can be my coach.
Yeah.
He said, yeah, you can train me. And when I look back at it, I'm like, I was bare, like 19, you know, just trying to be a boxing coach, and it's a lot. But
did you know that? Did he have a plan then of what he wanted to do them times there? And did you know the plan, or did you just kind of almost fall into something that ended up becoming such a monster and a roller coaster? Like, did he ever sit and say to you, this is what I'm gonna do?
I think at that time the only thing that was in his mind was the fight with Joella, which was in 2018, February 2018. So I met him 2017, started training him like from October that year going into the new year, and all he was focusing was on that fight. I don't think he knew how big this thing would become. I don't think anyone knew how big this thing would become. It took turns that were so unexpected. But once people see the numbers, and numbers are a threat to people, once they can see like, rah, this is how many people tuned in, 20 million plus tuned in to see me hit somebody, I have to hit someone again. It just starts to make sense. It starts adding up, and to this day we're still seeing how it makes sense.
100%. But see, in the beginning though, yeah, being like boxing kind of being your thing, if you're being objective, like, what was your thoughts on it as an actual sport to begin with? Because obviously you're training someone who you're cool with or whatever, but ultimately, to be fair, like a lot of people were just like, oh, these are just two people that are famous within a community and that, and like, I guess it's like a good, I mean, if there's one thing that they definitely displayed was the fact that you could actually use the people that buy into you to be able to bring them places. And like, I think that's where, because you can have numbers, you can have, this can say this, yeah, but how much people are actually buying into you, that's where it becomes super impressive. But from a sporting perspective, obviously, I think a lot of people are kind of on the vibe of, this is just a bit of a joke thing.
Definitely. For me, you know what? When I was coaching JJ in the beginning, coaching KSI in the beginning, I kind of had an isolated mind. Like, I didn't really check on the whole community of what was going on. I was just like, I got the task to train this guy. I knew I couldn't do it by myself. I said, you know what? Lee is a fighter. He can help me. And we kind of we focused on what we saw. I think only when the fight night happened and I was seeing some of the man that was dashing bangs out there and the quality, I said, right, it's a bit crazy, you know. This is very different to what I'm used to seeing. But I always had the mentality, as long as these men are safe, let them do what they're doing. As long as they're safe. Because I don't have no envy, I don't have no hate, I don't have no, I've been boxing my whole life and these men, look at them. I just looked at it like, I went from being unknown, super talented but unknown, to now talented and known. And it's because of you, man. So how can I snuff my nose up?
Right.
It was a great. I was grateful.
Yeah.
It was more gratitude that you can expose my talents based on what you men are doing here, and I've always felt that way, and it's happened for a lot more people since then.
Facts. Yeah, because I was actually going to ask you as well. It's like, from your perspective, even just internally, like, you was obviously a part of and have been a part of something that's become so
crazy.
Like, it's massive. But like, obviously for you, it becomes like your life changes in a way that you probably never expected it to ever change, innit?
It was like overnight. Like, I remember I had to turn the notifications off on my phone.
Did you ever feel pressure, like, from a negative perspective? Did the pressure ever make you like question?
Yeah, not in the beginning. I think before the first fight happened, I didn't feel the pressure. Then when it started getting bigger, and I realized how much people were giving me credit for him performing that way, I said, damn, these men think that I'm inside him as like a robot throwing these punches for him. Like, that was the sort of respect and, you know, admiration I got for coaching him. And then I realized, hey, this is on my back, you know. Because as much as you can be called, oh no, this guy's the best coach, the moment something goes left, you are the worst coach.
Right there.
And that's the rules of the world. So to stay on top and to have the faith and belief and the connection with the person who you're giving your teachings to, you are kind of in that hopeless space because you're like, I just hope you do it. That's how you feel. You're like, I hope you can do what I've been teaching you because I can't get in there and do it.
Yeah.
So I did feel that pressure, and it did get a lot for me at one point. But
how did you deal with it?
We attack it. That's the mentality. We don't run from nothing. Like, stuff like that, you attack it. Fears, you attack. You can't run. Otherwise, you're just telling yourself to be scared of more going forward, man. We just don't operate like that. Like Lee, as my trainer, strength and conditioning trainer, boxing as well. Excuse me. Attack it. The bar's heavy, lift it. You're tired, go again. That's the mentality. So, and when I was talking about my childhood and how I was raised, my parents were like that. Well, you don't like it, yeah? Go on then, do it. Do it. So when I started feeling that fear and feeling like, attack it. Dedicate yourself and attack it. And that's my mentality.
Bro, like, well, obviously what ended up happening was just flipping.
Romantic.
It was so insane, bro. And I was just on the sidelines, just kind of.
Yeah, what was you thinking so 2018?
I've had a really, like, I don't want to say love-hate thing, because it's not a love or hate.
I want to know what you were seeing on the sidelines, man.
I went from, like, again, the first element of it I respected to begin with, because I'm like, these men have an issue with each other.
Did you
like,
watch the first fight?
I watched
I
that.
Okay, yeah.
That's so that from that perspective.
That's stage one. Yeah.
From that perspective, I respected it because I was like, I didn't know the history between those two, but from where I've jumped in, it looks like there's something between them where they don't like each other. And I'm like, this is a good way to resolve that. And on top of that, you know what? They both got audiences in which people will go and support them. And also, I just respected it and I just really liked that aspect of it, yeah? When it started to become a thing, I was like, okay, like, I don't know if I would tap into this. I just don't know if I would, yeah? And then I started watching, like, because this is what I thought was quite funny. Eddie Hearn was very much like, nah, mate, like, what these lot are doing, nah, mate, this is bollocks. This is bollocks.
Nah, for real, it's true.
And like, he was not, and I like Eddie, by the way, I've recorded some really good pods of him, but he was not on nothing, yeah? Then came back and he's looked at figures and he's come back on a whole different perspective, which I think in turn made me not like it even more, because I was thinking like, wait, this is how my mind was looking at it. So there's someone who you look at who has got a certain level of integrity, yeah, and then you realize, oh wait, no, you're just integral to the numbers, which then makes you understand, hold on, wait 1 second, it's a business and you're not all wrong for faulting the business. However, let's not put people in positions where they're going to end up getting severely hurt by silly decisions. Do you get what I'm saying?
Just because of numbers.
Just because of numbers. So then I started to, in a way, really respect what was happening in and amongst the community and like these guys fighting each other and whatever. But then I went back to almost like a dislike when I started to see like just these odd matchups, and I do find those quite difficult at times. No, so like, and I wanted to talk about this a little bit later, but like, for example, you know, like seeing Floyd Mayweather step out and fighting Deji is like, on one hand, I'm like, Deji, brother, go and collect the fucking bag. Yeah, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I love that. Like, it's a brother who's, you get what I'm saying, and like people count him out and people look at him a certain type of way. He's got his own fan base or whatever. But you know what though? This is Floyd Mayweather. Go and collect that.
Do your thing.
But then on the other hand, I'm like, Floyd, brother. Like, you're a bit like you like what is this? And are we paying for this?
The money, innit?
What do you think? Because Lee was coaching Deji for that fight. He was out in Dubai with him.
Yeah.
What do you think, Lee, when you see it? When you first heard it announced, what did you think?
I thought it was weird, but then remember, Mayweather said that you can't leave his children legacy, innit?
You can't leave your children legacy. You got to leave them bread.
Got to leave them bread, innit?
But he's got that.
Yeah, but what's the
cost of living and
cost of living crisis, man?
Inflation.
Cost of living crisis, man.
Inflation.
So imagine he has 3 exhibitions a year and he gets 20 M's each. So that's 60 M's.
Yeah,
it's worth it.
But
for what? Cool. No danger, no threat.
Let's throw a scenario out there. Yeah, you're a bad boy DJ. Yeah, that's what my mind.
Yeah, I'm one of the coldest.
One of the coldest, right?
Right, strongly.
Cool. Now there's a DJ World Championships. You win that thing 10 years in a row. Prestigious. For as long as you can remember, just Chuckie's the champion. Then you're like, you know what, man? It's time for me to sit back. But then you start getting these little calls, these little exhibition DJ tournaments, and they're saying, yo, Chucks, man, we'll give you 10 mil, bro.
Butlins will give you 10 mil.
You're not going to say, the integrity of me being 10-time champion, I ain't taking your 10 mil.
I mean, everyone's got a price, so we always talk about that. That's everyone's got
I'm saying everyone's got a price.
But hear what I'm saying, yeah?
But I
think it's deeper than that. I think it's deeper than money.
Why is it deeper?
Do you know what I think it is? I think Floyd Mayweather, in particular, I'm just using this as an example. I think he suffers from that thing that you find a lot of sports stars suffer from when they leave a sport. It's not about money, it's about people saying your name.
Yeah,
I actually remember, I watched a documentary one time with Paul Gascoigne, Gaza, old football legend or whatever,
Of course.
And he was talking about his alcohol problems and that. And the one thing that stood out to me the most was he stepped, because they took him back to a stadium, and he was just crying because he was saying that all he wants is that feeling of people to just say his name again. You know, like that, stepping out on the pitch and just being like, oh my God, and that feeling of scoring a goal and all of that. And so I understand that. And I think that, like, that's probably why some people will probably turn to drugs or alcoholism or whatever. And there's like a few sports stars that have turned to these type of things because it's that going from the extreme high to some form of like normality, some like a common normality to some degree. And it's like hard to get used to that. So I see Floyd Mayweather, when I see him doing, or not even just like those fights, just even some of the things that he does anyway. I'm like, he needs
attention.
Exactly. And so I get that. That's the part that I get.
Right.
But it's like, still though, I still am like, yeah, I hear it. Like maximum risk, low reward. Yeah. No, low risk,
Maximum
big
reward.
reward. Right,
Yeah.
maximum reward. But it's still difficult because I fuck with my man
Yeah.
in his highest form.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
It is hard to see. Of course, it is hard to see. It's still a mental adjustment where it's like, this is what boxing has come to today. Do you know what I mean? Exhibitions are not new. Exhibitions have been going on for a long time. Only now it's become, through socials and through how the world has changed, it's bigger. But yeah, Floyd, it's
not the only one though. I think even with like, but I have an interesting take on Jake Paul. Yeah. My take on like, so my take on Jake Paul is, see, like him fighting MMA fighters and that, for me is not the move. It seems great, and I get why it looks sick. But I'm like, you know what? Now I do actually want to see this guy fight a boxer. Yeah. However, with this being said, you see him saying that he's going into MMA. If he goes into MMA, I would actually support him in all his fights.
Right.
Because he's gonna be fighting. Surely you're not gonna go in there and fight a boxer in there.
Oh yeah, right.
You're gonna go in there and fight an MMA fighter, and that's a thing. True. Because you've got to have all these different types of skill sets when you go in there, and something. I mean, something bad happened to you in boxing anyway, but something obviously the chances of you getting a kick in your head or knocking
weapons.
out. There's a lot more weapons and stuff. But it's like at a point, you get to a point of like, when you're watching a sport, you're saying, you know what? No, I want you to fight. I want you to just fight a boxer.
Right.
Do you get what I'm saying? Fight a boxer. Then I know that there's like conversations of like, irrespective of what these lot are doing, they're getting a younger generation into boxing as a whole.
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100.
Yeah.
100. Why would you say that?
A lot of them starting to go to boxing gyms, start to caring about their fitness and etc. But yeah, they've put a new light. Remember, a lot of these were couch potatoes. So
they were.
Now they're active. Even the YouTubers are active now. Everyone's caring about their physique. Remember, they come from doing diss tracks now to fighting each other. So it's a big progression.
Because diss tracks was the beef.
Yeah, the diss tracks was the beef.
Diss tracks was the beef, and it was big. But then now they throw hands. Now they hit each other. Like, bro, but
that's actually not the angle that I was coming from. I was looking at it from the angle of the audience. So like, maybe a percentage of the audience, and I don't know how much them are caring about their fitness and stuff like that. But how many of those are going and watching, like, I'd say this respectfully, like actual boxing fights? Or is it more of a fact that, you know what, like, we just really love you. We just like you. And wherever you tell us to go and what you tell us to do, we will do. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I think that's amazing. Because that's not an easy thing to do, to have people to buy into you like that. But how many are actually saying, you know what, I'm going to go and watch this?
No, I think a lot of them are trying to educate themselves.
No, I would
trying
say
to educate themselves to have a better understanding of the sport.
It's hard to not watch it. Right, so they're not going to go and watch every small hall show fight, but I mean the big fights that are happening in the traditional world, definitely those are getting more viewers because there's a young community out there who just saw KSI fight last week in Wembley Arena. There's boxing happening again this week in Wembley Arena. Let me have a little look. Let's see what the difference is. Right. Because then it allows us to see, I thought KSI was the best boxer in the world. I watched some real boxing. He ain't got nothing on them, man. Right. However, JJ's still my guy.
Yes.
So, I think it's they only like the boxers with big characters.
So
like the meaty boxers who are flatland, boring, they ain't gonna pay them no money. But the Furies, the Wilders, these type of big character people with big egos, that's who they'll gravitate to and watch.
So those will also be the ones who are like be the big money fights. I guess it's kind of like like Conor McGregor, for example. Conor McGregor's actually lost X amount of fights in the last however many years. He's not fought for a long time,
Right.
but because he's got such a big persona and he talks so much and whatnot,
People
people like him, or they like to not like him, which has people tuned in it. Floyd had that.
Yes,
He-
Floyd had so
Yeah.
much people that didn't like him, but they didn't like him to the point where I have to watch this guy
As
because
long
I
as you
want to
pay.
see him lose.
That's the
But
rule.
he was too good.
It's that the rule is as long as you pay.
Right.
You don't have to tick the box of me winning or losing, but you paid the $14.95. You paid over in America $100 for the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Just because you hate me, great. I get a slice of that $100. Do it again next fight. Do you know what I mean?
Was you not ever tempted to go in there and then punch up one of them YouTubers and that as well? Then have you not ever thought like
in the beginning when it was coming about, I didn't know how it was gonna progress. I didn't know what it meant like that, and I did think, is there a realm where man would step into it in the very, very beginning? But then when I went to the first show and I saw what was going on, I said, yeah, man can't hop on this.
yeah?
That's straight up bullying. I didn't get raised like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I was like, I didn't get raised to just beat on some dons in the ring. I fight people who are skilled and trained to compete with me. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I realized very early that's not a real.
Have you not? Because obviously now some of them are getting a little better.
They are.
You
No,
understand
for
what
real.
I'm saying?
They
Like some of them are boxing a bit now, and obviously there's a couple like even say like Jake, for example. Jake is Jaking, but like, ain't you ever thought for a moment like, wait, humble up a tiny bit though, like just a tad bit, like humble up a little bit, because
You know what? It's one of the things where a lot of people, you can't get caught up on what I'm feeding you on my socials. What I'm feeding you on my socials may not be who I am. Yeah. In my case, it is because I can't deal with the character stress. I don't want to switch the camera on and have to go, right, now let me be this guy. So with me, you just get what you're gonna get. But some guys, they realize, this villain thing got bread in it. And then now I'm doing things to wind you up, and I'm saying stuff like I'm a fat Canelo now. Yeah, just because you man get wound up anyway. So let me just twist the screw on you, man. Even though that ain't my plan. I've actually got an MMA fight booked, but you didn't know that.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? Right. So for me, when I hear certain people talking, and I've met them, and I can see their vibe for real, I just realize I take it all as socials, man. I take it all as WWE world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't take it in for real, because if it's real, I'll know about it, and if it's real, then the fist will fly.
I think, you know, that's true. You know, I actually think that, funny enough, it's somebody like you that helps bridge that gap even more so from a stronger perspective, because obviously you're close to these, man. They're huge, but your traffic is insane anyway. Yeah, so you've got a lot of like crossover fans to a degree in that too.
Definitely.
These guys are like are starting their boxing career late, to be fair, if you want to say a boxing career. You've obviously been boxing for a long time, or like it's been within you for a long time. You've had 7 fights, right?
Yeah.
Now I can now imagine quite a few of them coming and looking at you anyway and actually see. Can you put on the screen Vidal versus Ross McGuigan? Yeah, I watched that. Yeah, I've watched a few of your fights.
Love.
But this one in particular, yeah, like I'm looking at you and I'm saying to myself, blouse and skirt, like it was the go just maybe towards the end of it, just there. Here we go. Yeah, like your energy and the pressure like that you was applying, and just how hard you was hitting, bro. Like the technique and everything is like, I can see now. You know what? I can see that it's like these type of fights now. As you start progressing more, you have a lot of those fans that end up, you know, just watching the sport from that perspective and then really being into it, like really being into like the authentic side of it.
A lot of the crossover community, of course, they look forward to my fights because I'm part of the community, bro.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I'm a part of their community, but I'm staying true to my thing when I let the fist go.
Right.
So, And that's a big thing for me, is that I never wanted to be a sellout. I always wanted to stick to my thing.
Yeah.
I didn't want the credentials that I built as a youth, that I went through all this trouble with, and all these years of practice and all of that, to go to waste. I wanted it to mean something, and I pictured myself as a kid on Sky Sports. I watched Ricky Hatton, Nazim Mohammed, Floyd Mayweather, Roy Jones. I watched all them guys. I wanted to be like
You
them.
just got the food there, by the way.
I wanted to be like them.
Yeah.
Those are the people that inspired me. So what made me box was to be like them, and that hasn't changed. I still want to emulate those guys, the guys that I looked up to as a kid. And by fighting and staying traditional on my path like this, I'm fulfilling it, because I used to watch man on Sky, and now I'm on Sky. But and to be there with my dad as well.
Oh, is that your dad? Yeah,
head coach.
Oh, that's cold. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like we've been doing this from the living room.
Oh, he must have loved that.
And he always says the same thing to me after, yeah, I told you, you know what I'm saying? Because he does, he literally, how he says it's going to go, it goes like that.
Right.
So always the same. I know when I return to the corner, he's going to go, see, told you to listen.
Right.
You know, that's the convo we have. But for me and him to be sitting down,
he looks young as well, your dad does.
Isn't he? He's still young in the spirit and the looks, because I can't test him yet. You know what I'm saying? He's still on me. He's still on me. But like, it's mad, because he used to record fights on Sky Sports on VCR, bro.
Yeah.
Like he'd be telling me, yo, press record here and press pause so there's no adverts in the fight. Like, and now we're on Sky. So when things like that mean something to you, when you start getting these crossover offers and that, it's like, bro, don't come to me with that.
What's been a difficult part, like, of your journey so far?
I think it's that limitation thing that we was talking about, because I am one of those people that don't like to be limited to anything. You know what I mean? I want to make music, I want to box, I want to do YouTube, I've got my podcast with my guy Lee. I want to do a lot of things, but I've realized that in this field that I chose, limitation is required, because there's bare man out there that's not multi-talented, but they're cold at boxing.
Strong.
And if they're focusing on that and I'm here spreading myself too thin elsewhere, it will catch up with you. So for me, the hardest thing has been to learn to just find what you're doing, stick with that, and build a team around you that help everything else live. You don't have to be hands-on. And I had that problem where it's like, I don't know if it's done properly unless I do it. When I do it, I know it's right. If you do it, I'm not sure. And part of growing and being able to have a network of people is trusting that they're giving me the right answer.
Facts.
I go to my session with Leon, I don't question the workout. I know I'm going to be fit, I know I'm going to be strong, I know I'm going to smoke the donny I'm fighting. My cameraman, I don't tell him, yo, shoot it like this. He knows. And that takes time to build, but when you find the value in trusting people around you, and you know, I don't have to check because he did it, your life will become easier.
100%. That is difficult at times though, finding the right team, innit?
It's hard. I moved to Vegas. I thought that was gonna be my path.
When did you do that?
2018.
Why did you do that?
Because I got signed by Mayweather Promotions.
Oh yes, of course.
Yeah. So I
read about that. So how did, like, what happened with that?
So I just wasn't getting better, man. I wasn't getting better. I was losing my love for the game out there. I was losing my love for the game. I realized to do the sport, I need certain people around me.
Was you on your own?
Pretty much. I had a team out there. I did have a team out there, and I will vouch and say the team out there did look after me.
But it was ultimately it was a team out there.
People.
Right then, yeah.
It needs to be my people around me. It needs to feel like a family motive. That's how I operate the best, when it feels like a family motive and not too business like. When it gets that feel, it takes that passion out of it for me. I need to feel like I'm fighting with my brothers. I walk to the corner, Leon's there, Rom's there, my guy's there, my dad's there, my dad is there, you know what I'm saying? So now we're going as a family, squadded up to go Pac-Man in. That it gives me that energy. I train with that energy. And I realized when I moved over to Vegas, as much as I was fighting in Las Vegas, I was fighting in MGM Grand, I was surrounded by world champions, I was surrounded by legends out there, and I took a lot from it and I learned from it, but it didn't give man that fuel. It didn't give man that fuel to dig deep. Whereas here, I can't let my family down.
No place like home, innit?
No place
Yeah,
like
no place
home.
like
You
home,
can't
yeah.
let your brothers down, because we're all rolling together now, and I love that. And that's what makes me.
Was it difficult to come back?
Yeah, it's expensive as well.
Is it like,
It's expensive. I had a crib out there.
Oh,
Man
okay.
who had a what they call it? The social security number, bro. I was American, bro.
yeah, yeah.
I had the visa. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really was trying to set up my life out there. So then when I made the abrupt decision, I'm coming back, it was like I literally flipped everything on its head. Middle of the pandemic. I just said, I need to go back. Otherwise, I don't know, man. It's not good for the mental as well. It's not good for the mental. I like to be able to move and do what I need to do. These times I had no license. So you're in America with no license. You're not living, my guy.
Yeah,
Especially
it's
in
long.
Vegas.
Yeah.
You know what? You think you're going to
I've
bump to
never been in
Walmart,
Vegas
bro?
actually, but
You can't walk. You can't walk over there. It's not like New York. It's like everywhere's a freeway. You want to go get some milk, you got to drive.
yeah.
And it was just like, man just felt bare limited, bro. I just felt like, you know what?
So bad. I feel like I never hear people say that they live in Vegas. I hear people say that they go on holiday to Vegas,
Yeah, live in Vegas.
or they travel to Vegas.
I live right near
do you
the
know
strip.
what? Do you know what? It's funny. When I think of Vegas, I don't see a house.
You see one
the
road,
strip,
innit?
innit? The
I
clubs.
just see a strip.
You
I
see
don't.
strip,
I
yeah.
can't even fathom a house in Vegas. Like there's yards in Vegas.
Yeah, bare yard, bro. That's only one road of the whole city.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
I
so
just see
mad,
like
innit?
hotels,
100%,
and
bro.
that. Hotels or apartments. I don't even see an apartment.
Bro, they got
don't
ends
even-
over there. There's ends over there. Where the street.
Wait, there's a hood in
bro.
Vegas.
The street names.
No
are,
way. There's
bro.
a hood
I'm
in
telling you, there's a hood in
Vegas.
Vegas, bro.
Serious.
Bro, there's street names that are just letters, bro. Like D Street, E Street.
Oh
F
my
Street, like,
god.
Where? No, for real. Like, and it's not far from the strip. Like,
Yeah,
when
but the
when
reason why
touch
they
down, I
put,
take
so they
two
don't
lefts.
they don't care about them ends at all then, because
Oh,
if they're just calling it D Street, they can't be bothered to even name the street. They can't even be bothered. The whole
said,
thing's just the whole thing's just based upon just the glamour.
Bro, it's mad because it's just your perspective just changes, isn't it? Like, you realize you got one road where it's all happening. The clubs are happening, the rappers are there every weekend, everyone's flying into that road. You're basically flying into that road.
Yeah.
Because when you step off the strip this way, step off that way, you got a good 20-minute drive before you hit a nice ends again.
Oh shit, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, it must have felt. You must have felt so fucked. Can you get Caribbean food there?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was one
In
good Caribbean.
Vegas?
Hey, there was one good Caribbean spot, you know. Maybe one day we'll all up.
Jamaican
end
Yeah,
up
we
in
might have
there,
to
bro.
go.
Now I'm not gonna lie, it was
I
fine,
have
you
to
know.
come out there just quickly. And just
When
see
I
what's
saw
going
the what's that drink that's bad for you? That grape soda, the one that says SOF on it, the Caribbean thing. When I saw that, man, the grape with the dark shades on it, I saw that. I said, "Yeah, this one's from the ends." Man remembers this one, you know. And for me as well, if a Caribbean shop got the good planting, I'm happy. That
yeah,
shop,
yeah.
that
There's
shop,
decent planting in that.
yeah,
area as
man.
well.
No, it was the one spot there that I really was fucking with, but they got Caribbean food out there still.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, man. Vegas is it's a good focus space, which sounds weird.
Okay.
But if you don't touch that road, there's not much distractions out there.
Right.
There's not many distractions. It's like just saying, all right, I live in London, but I'm never going to go to Oxford Circus. And it's like that. You know what I'm saying? But Vegas, yeah, man, living there, it's an experience. Still.
It feels. I mean, look, like I don't. My
Was
my
it that one?
understanding
Yeah,
is
that one.
this one here, yeah?
That's the
Yeah.
drink SOF. You know what I'm saying? Soft drink, gang. Soft drink.
That's soft.
Soft,
Yeah.
soft.
SOF.
Hey, not soft.
You know what the
It's
thing is? I thought
soft
SOF
drink.
was an acronym for something. Like it was the S men side, the O men side, and the F men side. That's
SOF,
soft.
bro. Soft drink.
That looks like that has got an
Hella E
insane
numbers.
amount of
Hella
sugar.
E numbers. See what I'm saying? My mum used to, if she catch me with that, she would say, yo, take
gotta
that.
ease up on that.
Ease up on that one day. But yeah, man, when I saw that one, I thought, yeah, maybe I'm not too far from home, man. That one gave me a little balance.
Yeah,
But
it's funny. It's funny how those type of
Expensive,
things make you
though.
feel like it's close to home, like, or you feel closer to home, innit?
how much you think a Caribbean meal in Vegas is?
A Caribbean meal in Vegas,
Yeah. Just a normal, say you get your curry go couple, you know what I mean, rice and peas planted.
$11,
No way.
No way, bro.
$12.
No,
Higher,
that
bro.
20.
What?
Bro, like $26, $27, bro.
Crazy.
$27.
How much you
What
think?
takeaway?
Yeah, takeaway,
Yeah.
bro. How much you think? This is a good one. How much you think a Magnum is? The juice.
A Magnum
Yeah.
in, but that's now. Do you know what? I'll tell you why.
Alright.
I think that it's probably about $5, $6. The reason why I say that is because Vegas. Where are they importing that from?
The Caribbean.
Yeah, so there's not like it's not that of a much of a madness.
$15, bro.
American.
Little bottle. The normal bottle that we see in any man's off license. $15 in Vegas for a Magnum.
That's a madness.
I ended up getting Red Label one time just because it was a little bit cheaper.
Red label.
A Red Label was 11. I said, yeah, give me the Red Label,
Oh
man.
my
Give me the
God.
Red Label.
Also monopoly, innit? 'Cause
That
there's
is
no one else that
crazy.
sells it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no one else that sells it.
yeah.
And man had to go to some any
So you've got to go
like,
far, like to
beat
get it.
down shop in the
Yeah.
road. Yo, let me get that Magnum in back
That is
$15,
nuts.
bro. That's when I said I'm gonna need to go back to the ends, yo, because I'm getting finessed out.
But you know what? Ultimately, that's like it feels right that you did that. That you came back.
Yeah.
Part of the journey, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
part of the journey. I don't
You've
regret
learned.
anything.
You've learned what you've needed to learn out there, and obviously now it's time. And probably it's probably if anything, even a good time to be back.
Great time to be back, especially with the cruiserweight division over
Yeah.
here. They got names. It's got a lot of names, a lot of potential rivalries, and a lot of storylines.
Is anyone talking like bad on your name right now?
No.
Is
not
anyone
right
like
now.
saying anything savoury?
No one's really
Not
saying
yet.
that. Imagine, no, I don't.
Has anyone?
It's gonna come.
Has anyone hinted like? Has anyone like just hinted something that might have made you feel like was that me? Is he? Has anyone
said
done
anything.
anything yet?
Nothing prominent.
Respecting, innit?
It's,
Huh?
but I expect
You
it.
got a lot of them spar each other. They've seen the sparring.
Right.
They,
Yeah, I think I
Things
got
go
a
around.
good respect in the boxing
Yeah.
community
Right.
for sure. Because
Is there any dons in there? You don't have to say his name.
go on.
But is there any dons in there that you're suspecting at some point he might say something you're not gonna like?
Nah, there's no one yet.
Is there anyone in there that you feel at the moment where it's like, you know what? I'm not gonna love the way that he's moving. Like, not in a thing of like,
Yeah.
he's moving mad, but he's doing his thing. But you're just not loving the fact that he's. You understand what I'm saying?
You know what? I don't have that problem. You know, right now, as I sit here, I'll be honest with you. There's no one that like I got any beefs with. There's people that I'm gonna have to fight because we are competition. We are in the same division, but there's no one that's out here hotting my name right now.
Let's interject and let's have Leon on the couch as well, please. You can sit down, sit next.
Oh yeah. He said, Luke Watkins. There's a guy called Luke Watkins.
And what did he say?
He's English champion right now.
And what's he saying?
He did, but you see with me, yeah.
Did he say anything? What did he say? Because I'll if you're not going to do it, I'll do it.
No. He said he don't want to waste his time fighting someone like me. Now,
What does that
now,
mean?
wait.
What's his name?
Now let me.
What's his name? What's his name? What's his name?
No, Chuckie, hear me out. Now, I'm one of them man, yeah. I don't get insulted easy, innit? So because he said, why am I gonna waste my time fighting him? I start thinking hella rational. So I start thinking, alright, this guy's like 33 years old, probably hasn't made enough money in the game yet. He don't want to fight a 7-fight novice. He's obviously gonna be in this game for bigger P's. So for him to not have interest in fighting me, I don't blame him. I probably would feel that way in his position.
Well, you're saying he's low on P's and that.
Like,
So
I'm
you're saying
not saying
he's
he's low, but I know that
Right.
there's people that make
I'm
a
sorry,
lot
I'm just
more.
antagonising,
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's people that make a lot more.
Right.
And
I understand.
why you want to go back in time when you should be going forward in time? So when I saw him say that, I thought, you know what? I don't blame you. I don't blame you for saying that.
Right.
But if it's a thing where he
But don't
tops
say
on
it too loud though.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
don't, if he tops up on it, like he doubles down
More,
on
a
it,
bit more, yeah, sauce
like,
on
yeah,
it.
this guy's tired or whatever, then we'll see you.
Right then.
Because that's the game we're in.
Right.
Swords out.
Leon, how do you feel? Like, actually, I'm gonna ask this. Yeah, has there ever been a time in training where you've seen he's evidently frustrated?
No.
Has that come yet?
not in boxing or S&C, not really. No, obviously, like there's sometimes when you're fatigued, but he knows the mindset, he knows the philosophy. You just push through.
Right.
It has to get done.
Right.
But yeah, even in boxing, no, not even boxing, not even sparring.
If
Not
you
seen
was to
him
take
spar.
an educated guess, how do you feel that he would handle being frustrated?
It'll be down to him, innit? If he feels like he's too tense or. But I think where he's been doing it for so long, you don't really get frustrated like that. You sort of know when they're getting tense and when to relax and whatnot. I think maybe his first fight back against Wilberforce.
Yeah.
That's when he got frustrated. He was trying too hard.
Right.
First fight back in the UK.
Yeah.
Wants to get the knockout. Everyone's there. He's tried too hard.
It's a big show as
Yeah,
well.
big show.
Amir Khan, Kell Brook show.
Yeah,
You know,
You wanted to make an impression.
I wanted to make an impression.
yeah, that was that
And
was
then man was reeking of desperation out there. Desperation stinks.
Yeah.
You don't want to smell like that one.
Nah,
I was smelling
yeah.
like it.
Can't be
On that
desperate.
day, I was smelling like it though. I had
Yeah.
my scent of desperation on that day, and I think that was a big wake up call
yeah.
Right.
because then the fight after that, I knocked out the guy in 50 seconds
Right.
because I said, you know what you're doing, bro. Chill out.
Yeah. So it had to be done. It had to. You
Yeah.
needed to feel that earlier on.
Right.
That tense, that yeah.
Is there anyone that you at the moment would like to see him, that you would personally like to see him fight?
Anyone with a belt, you know, we're ready.
Right.
We're being ready for that. We're being ready for that. But when you're signed to a promotion, you got to play.
Yeah, the
your
game-
career's
the
not in
game's
your
game.
hands, isn't it?
Yeah, the game's
But
the game.
yeah, we're ready for a belt. We've been ready for a belt.
This year's a
the
belt.
skill set, the level is just there, and everyone knows it as well.
Right.
I feel people know what's going on, and we're quite chill about it, but we understand what war is.
Yeah.
I understand what war is. I like that. No, that's the vibe. Yeah,
no,
yeah,
for
yeah.
real. Like I don't have
no.
to sit here with my eyebrows frowning off for you to think I'm serious, but
Yeah.
just know that when war is when it commences, then we just say cool.
I think it's very important to understand that right now you're focused and serious.
Yeah, 100.
That's it. The focus and the seriousness is there, and obviously the steps are the steps. You can't
Of course,
cheat the game,
can't cheat the game.
especially this early on. Anyway, maybe later on in your career you might be able to do that if you wanted to, but that's not. I don't see that you doing that. For now, the steps are the steps. You just got to climb them and not obviously look past opponents and all those kind of things.
that's
And whatever's
important.
going to happen is going to happen still. But yeah, I think it's a really interesting time, man. Like I think it's a very interesting time in the boxing world. Is there anything that frustrates you, Leon, like with just the boxing world right now? To me, and I say this because you know what, like again, from someone who is from the outside looking in, sometimes it does feel like it's a bit of a mess because it's like not even just boxing. I feel like combat sport in general feels like a mess because even if you go to UFC, for example, you've got like people that are apparently in these terrible contracts or whatever, and then it feels like they're in a dictatorship. But I mean, at least you can probably say that in that sport over there, 9 times out of 10, the best is fighting the best. In boxing, like there's so many different things, different promoters, whatever. The best can't always fight the best. So you have like a bunch of people that are undefeated and all of that type of stuff. Then on top of that, obviously you've got the YouTubers. Then you've got some of the boxers that are looking to go over to the YouTubing thing. It's like everyone's going.
It's messy, it's messy,
It's
it's messy.
so messy.
But I think at the end of the day, everyone needs to remember that they entertain us. They entertain us. That's it. But yeah, only thing that I don't really like now is the jealousy between the traditional boxing and the crossover boxing. Like, let them do their thing over there. They're not causing no beef or no. They're not watching no one of the traditional.
Yeah.
But you know, it's to do with money. A lot of it's to do with money, and a lot of traditional boxers feel like I've been doing this for X, Y years. I should be earning this much. Why these people been doing it for 5 minutes and they're earning like
10 times.
10 times
Money
more
I've
than
never
what I
even
get. Yeah.
seen in my life.
You know what I'm saying?
Do you know what I'm saying? But
it's market. It's all
It's
market.
the market.
Exactly, it's market.
It's the market.
If they got a fan base and they got a nice fan base,
What does
it's
that
not their
do to-
fault.
It's hard though, isn't it? Because what if you're not like, what if you are a talented boxer, yeah, but you're just not flamboyant like that? Then are you? Do you
got a hard
become,
road,
Do you
homie.
become a victim
You
to
got
the
a hard
sport?
road.
Do you become a victim to like the business of the sport because You just don't have the marketing in you.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
And that's just the way the
Yes.
game's changed, isn't it?
That's the
That's the season we're in now.
That's the season
It's the
we're in.
season
That's
we're
the
in now.
yin and yang.
Yeah.
If you got the sauce, you're about to make bank, because the world has been designed now for personalities and fighting.
Yes.
But if you're that guy that's a cold boxer, but you don't like to speak, you get 1, 2, 3 words out of you, you got a hard road, bro. And the guy that's not as good as you but gets people to watch will be ahead of you.
And you know what? You're probably going to find yourself in even more of a pickle if you can't speak, you can't string a sentence together, and people don't have a feeling towards you, whether it be like or hate, because hate is also good too,
Of course.
Yeah.
because you could transfer that into something. But if no one feels anything, but you go in there and you're just knocking man out, it's not like no one don't care about that, because it's like that could just be passed, because it's like, who is this? No one doesn't even really know this Don like that so much, really.
But then that's how some of these guys can get in the door, because say you got someone like me, right? You think, you know, I'm a fight the dog because no one knows me. I think I'm cold, and then if I smoke him, everyone will know me.
Yeah.
So then now you got the man them that ain't got the following, hungrier than ever, and they'll be shouting out the people that do have the numbers. And then that's why I got to stay on my grind, because these men, they don't have the distractions I may have, but they want to come take it. Because that's the only way they can see themselves getting known. They know they ain't starting no YouTube channel.
And that's what the last opponent thought he could do.
Yeah,
Is take the shine.
Thought you could take the
Like,
shine.
I thought he'd yam the food.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the thing. You think people believe I'm gonna come in and take the shine, and I know that. I'm aware of that. So we do everything we can to protect that.
Yeah.
And keep it shining. Do you know what I mean? Because I can't come to your New Year's party as a loser, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Is there anything that anyone needs to know about? I always end on this. It could be something that something that you've read, something that you've seen, a song that you've heard, a film that you've watched, a documentary that you've seen. It could be a fight that you watched, whatever it is. Is there anything that people need to know about?
First thing I'll say is make sure you check the Real Meals podcast, because we're gonna get Chuckie on there.
Right.
Yeah, and we're gonna have another good discussion.
Come on.
Different questions, and also for anyone out there that is trying to grow their brand and don't see how it's possible, YouTube Shorts have officially been monetized.
Right.
So if you have a good TikTok following, or you're into making that short content and you was thinking how you're gonna make bread, YouTube decided this year to monetize that content. So don't shut your brain down on that. Work on that, and the algorithms will help you at this time.
And there's a book called Bounce by Matthew Said. Basically, it's deleting the myth where there's no such thing as natural talent.
Oh.
So I advise people to read it.
Oh,
Because I used to be someone who believed in natural talent. I thought,
yeah.
I've got natural talent. What are you talking about? But after reading that book,
You
it
realize.
gave me a great understanding of
Alright.
everything I've done throughout my life.
Yeah, like
has played a part.
everything is
Alright.
learned, isn't
The
it?
myth
Yeah,
of
everything's
talent.
learned.
Everything's
Everything's
learned.
learned.
Yeah.
But it's a very good book. Very good book.
Natural talent. There's no such thing as natural talent.
Alright.
That leans more into like, because in the aspect of, you know, when people talk about nature versus nurture, it's like there's so much things that is nurture in it. Like
Your brain
Like,
is empty. You can't. You can't just be born and know things. Like when you think of it like that, it's like you have to be taught everything.
yeah,
At some way, at some stage, at some time, you had to be taught it.
Yeah.
or your brain has a way of like processing certain things.
yeah.
But the thing is,
Yeah.
it's like every second there's a bit of new data that's being processed into the brain. And I think as soon as a child is born, the moment that child comes out of the banana bread, immediately it's taking in. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like
immediately.
colours,
Everything.
all kinds of
No,
stuff.
everything.
Before they even come out, bro.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
you gotta
yeah.
remember, like if
That's
the
true.
mother's living a stressed life, your youth's gonna come out stressed.
Yeah,
bro.
it's true.
Yeah.
So from what you consume to what everything from that moment, the music, the vibrations given from the
everything, yeah.
music, it's like your body, your child, that person from then is taking
Gathering
things.
data, innit?
So yeah,
I'm gonna get that.
No,
I'm
it's
gonna
a
get that
great
now.
book.
It's a mad thing still.
Well, my G, love for coming through, my bro.
Love for having me.
And you know what I would like now going forward, now that we've had this conversation, yeah? Like every once in a while, when there's like a moment that's happening in regards in the fighting world, like I do it with Dan. Me and Dan's here all the time. Just sit. I'd like you to join us.
Yeah, definitely.
So like when we're just like having a like a conversation about a big moment that's happened or whatever in the thing, whenever you're free and whenever we can make it happen, come just sit down with us and just vibe with us.
Definitely.
I just want to just kind of get like anyone, like my audience that may not necessarily know too much about you in your world. I just wanted them to kind of get a little understanding of who you are.
Listen, as I said, from seeing you DJ at Nike to now, it's just mad. Life is just crazy.
Yeah, man.
Quick one, yeah.
Go for
What do you
it.
think of Eubank?
What do I think of him?
Yeah,
do you know what,
what do
bro?
you
You
think?
know the baddest thing is, yeah? I thought he was going to win that fight. And on top of that, I thought he had a lot of it under control. And then all of a sudden, this happened and it was just... I think, do you know what? In my honest opinion, I think that's going to do something to him, man.
Like, it's going to stay with him.
Yeah, because like... Yeah, the way that he got knocked down, the way that he got up, and I know watching that back is going to be such a humbler.
Nah, he's a liar though.
Huh?
He's a liar. He's gonna lie to himself. He's a liar. He said he slipped. He's a liar.
Did he say that?
Bro, he said he slipped.
He
No.
did.
He said he slipped. Then
Nah,
he
he
said,
joked.
what is? I saw he said that was a lucky punch or a once in a lifetime punch.
Oh, yeah, he did say it was a lucky
Did he?
punch. He did say it was a lucky punch.
He said he
yeah.
slipped as well.
Raw.
He
Bro,
said
he's
he
gonna
slipped.
lie, bro.
Did he not also say that it was a little bit of an early stoppage? He thought he could go on a little bit.
Yeah.
Look at him, he's slumpy to bits. Look at that. Stop. I'm gonna
Let's
be
show
honest.
them done. Look, let's show
bro,
them.
stick a fork in that. That's over. But hear what I'm saying, yeah? I'm thinking that could have been stopped there.
Of course it could
Yeah,
have.
yeah,
It could
yeah,
have.
yeah,
It
yeah.
could
The
have.
knee-
Look,
the
look.
knee's done. The knee's done.
And
But
you know what?
watch
He's
it.
so prideful. He
Watch
got
it.
so quick.
Yeah, look.
That's
He's
it,
done.
that's done.
Legs on the under of his
Yeah.
body.
Look,
The left shoulder's limp.
I've not seen for a long time.
The ref
yeah,
gave him a chance.
The ref
Yeah.
gave him a chance, but see where he's from, where he got
Boy.
knocked down to where the count was. I don't think I've seen that before. He got knocked down in the
corner.
corner,
Yeah,
and got
yeah,
the
no.
count in the other side of the
Yeah,
thing.
and that's not because someone pushed him there.
Yeah.
But he was trying to fight once the
Yeah.
fight was cooled off as well. Like he was still trying to go back in.
And the thing
I
is,
think he looked.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean,
Roy was going to throw in the towel as well.
Yeah.
I think that would have hurt him more.
Yeah, if
That
he was
would've
going up through
burned
the
him.
towel, that would have
burned him.
yeah, that would have burnt him.
But I thought,
Don't
I
you
thought
think?
Chris was gonna get it, man.
You what?
I thought he was gonna win, man.
Yeah,
thought
so
he was
did
gonna
I.
win.
So did I.
Yeah.
I wanted him to win. To be fair, you know it's weird. He's become like, you know, he's a not liked
Wait.
person.
Wait,
Because, oh, look at this.
Wait.
Oh my god.
wait.
Can I be honest with you? I think it happens again. You know, I think if they
Yeah,
fought,
people are
this
going to
happens
try
again.
and rain on him now.
People are gonna try to rain
His
on
defense
him.
is.
But hear what I'm saying, yeah. I think ever since the
Wait.
oh god, sorry, we're just
That's the
watching
one
a
that
replay
done. Oh,
back.
his eye, innit? Oh, yeah.
But I think since the Connor situation, it's made him not look. It's made him be tolerable in a weird way.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it was almost like, okay, these two are fighting each other. People had their opinions on whatever it may be and whatnot. But ultimately, Chris is going into this thing as like a villain anyway. Because
Yeah.
that is his whole thing. But then when it played out how it played out, then it was almost like he was still a villain, but a tolerable one
Yeah.
compared to my man. Because
Yes.
it was like,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
you fuck, like you made us feel like this is something that we really needed to see and it was going to be competitive, and this is what's going on. This is all mad. So it made him. I think going into this fight, it probably made me. I wouldn't say root for him because I don't have those type of feelings towards him like that. Pause. But it's just like, you know what? Nah, I want him to win this one.
Yeah,
I wanted him to win.
Yeah. That's
I
how
wanted him to- I
that's how
wanted
the
him to
feeling
win.
was.
I
Yeah.
wanted to see him win, and to see that happen to him, I was like, wow, like I did feel something. But then when I then read that he'd said that he felt like he could go on a little bit, I'm like, this is the delusional part again. But if he
Yeah.
said that he slipped,
Yeah.
so
you know,
then
he's gonna trigger the- he's gonna
how do you
trigger the
improve?
rematch.
How do you improve?
You can't, bro.
There's no improvement. He's lying
You
to himself.
can't.
There's none.
I feel
No
like people
improvement.
really, when they realize that, and you realize you can't cheat the process of improvement. The first process to improving is the truth.